Letcha know. Letcha know. Letcha know. Letcha know.
Yes. Welcome to the Let You Know podcast. It's your boy EK in the building. And I'm going to introduce my panel. Down at the bottom, I got P in the house. What's up, P?
Good afternoon, good morning, good night. How y'all doing tonight?
NOOZ in the house. What's up, NOO?
He gone. Oh, there you go.
No, he here.
I'm here, doggy. What up, y'all? I appreciate y'all coming on. We rapping big tonight, y'all. I appreciate y'all. Everybody looking good tonight, too. Everybody looking fresh tonight.
Hey,
damn, I gotta go get fresh.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I got Redpillcrip in the house with me. What's up, boy?
You already know, man. Love y'all boys, man. Redpillcrip from the Redpillcrip podcast, Justice League. Shout out to my brothers. Appreciate y'all having me, bro.
And then we got a newcomer to the pod. We got Sly Fox. What's up, man?
What's happening, man? Coming straight from the big igloo.
No doubt.
Oh shit! What's that, Alaska?
No,
Shit.
I was about to say that too.
no, he's talking about some other shit. Kurt's from Chicago.
We'll get to it.
For sure. All right, man. What's the topic? What's the topics today, man? What we got going on for today? First of all, how's y'all weekend, man? I mean, how's it going, man? Everything going good with y'all?
We're doing our best.
Yeah, man.
Enjoying the hot weather.
Everything's good except the Chiefs being on 2. But other than that,
yeah. Don't even worry about that, man. They're gonna do their thing, dog.
thanks. Yeah, ain't tripping.
Okay.
But yeah, P, go ahead, man. Go ahead and bring out the topic for us today.
So tonight on the podcast, we have to discuss things that are going on politically tonight. Usually we don't discuss political matters, but with all the heat building up with the Charlie Kirk assassination, the things going on with Trump and the multiple cities trying to clean up the cities with ICE and everything, we kind of got to start talking about this because it seems like the red side and the blue side are at their necks. And whether or not you subscribe, whether or not you're a member of either of those sides, it still affects us in a big way if this thing pops off. So we want to know, is civil war coming, or can we actually get into some civil discussions with people and turn this temperature down?
Bro, I done heard it. I think we done been here before.
Well,
we didn't been here as far as like the riots in LA and all that, and it never go through. It'd be a month of hype, and then after that, everybody back to back to their regular life. So I wouldn't say that we there because for one thing, I think it's just people who are not dedicated to shit. They riled up in the moment, but we got TikTok brains, so we don't even mean shit for more than 20 minutes most of the time. So
yep, I was going to bring that up too, John. Is the collective attention span of the world now is about 2.5 minutes. And when you were talking about people aren't really about shit, well, no, like it's mostly people, I would think, when they're talking about civil war and they want to go through civil war, most of them haven't shot a gun. Most of them haven't been out there. Most of them don't have any backbone. So you just got to hear this rhetoric from people that usually never amounts to anything anyways. But you never know. Shit could pop off because, shooting somebody in the neck during a debate, that's pretty hardcore.
To that effect, though, they've spent the last 10 years being indoctrinated. So from the time these guys were, let's say this kid was 24. From the time he was 14 to now, he's been told what by the media? Everybody you don't agree with is a Nazi or a fascist. And they've repeated that for the last decade. So now these people who've spent their entirety growing up hearing this rhetoric, they're in the real world now. And to them, what do you do to a Nazi? You punch a Nazi. There's nothing wrong with that. But when everybody you don't agree with is a Nazi, that's kind of a problem.
Yeah. It gives way to violence because, like you just said, think about the Nazis. What was the good thing to do to the real Nazis during the war? Shoot them in the face. So now you got people thinking, oh, well, this guy's a Nazi too because I've heard he's a Nazi, so let's shoot this guy. And what do you guys think as far as, what are you guys feeling out there as far as the temperature goes? Is anybody else talking about this in the hood? Is anybody even worried about this?
I mean, what I'm gonna say is that, man, it used to be by the races, but now it's more so groups. Like if you was a fascist, that's a fascist group. If you on the left wing, that's a left wing group. If you from a certain area, that's y'all group. You know, people who tote guns, that's their group. You know, everybody got different opinion, and social media just helps them pull people in different directions. So it doesn't feel hot at all to me. To be honest with you, man, like if he wasn't on TV, would we really be talking about Charlie Kirk?
We would be talking about him, but it wouldn't be such a push as far as like talking about this kind of like shit like Civil War and stuff. Because I mean, part of the reason that it hyped so many people up, not myself. I mean, I'm not a fan of Charlie Kirk, but I respected what he did. So let's just put it that way. I'm not going to go into that too deep. But the visual of the guy, you know, seeing the bullet go through the neck, seeing him flop down, seeing that pints and pints of blood spill out of his body. I mean, that's a visceral reaction to something like that. So, like Red Pill was saying, you know, people aren't really about that, but that's what they're going to talk about right now. And who knows, somebody could be about that because it just takes, you know, one shot in the neck or the next one to come or the next one to come before you start getting gang-like activity, you know, back and forth and back and forth.
Well, let's get into that. Let's get into that. Why do you think they shot Charlie Kirk? Like somebody hated him that bad to where they wanted to just pull the trigger from a distance.
I mean, there's two schools of thought though. Like you could sit there and say that yeah, this kid was some disenfranchised. He knows Charlie Kirk, you know, spews hate speech, whatever. But there's also the other side of it that you know Charlie Kirk was also pretty outspoken against Israel. So that I think ties into a factor.
I think that the reason, like, Charlie Kirk was somebody that was like, I would say, a representative of the truth, and I think that's the new enemy. And people like I would call it the left. I ain't never even used that term till today. The left,
Democrats.
the Democrats, yeah, them. They just get butthurt about the truth. If you don't fall into their delusion, see, they'll go to war about that, but they'll allow a transgender teacher to teach their kids the gay BCs and won't. Not only will they not argue against the shit, they'll applaud it.
Yeah.
So it's like,
I mean, when you got this weird shit being like what Sly was talking about earlier, from a very young age, they're taught that they shouldn't tell people whether or not they're a boy or girl because they don't know. You know, they're taught to support Islam and they're taught to support this and they're taught to call everybody a Nazi and a fascist. So when you got those kids at that developmental age, of course they're going to turn out fucked. I mean,
But I think that's part of why they targeted Charlie Kirk though, because he's been reaching. You know, my son's 15, and he's gotten more political over the last couple of years. But he introduced me to Charlie Kirk probably 4 or 5 months ago. Said, "Hey, I've been seeing this guy's videos on my feed more and more. I think you might like him." And you know, I knew who he was, and I think that Charlie Kirk reaching the younger generation, not the generation directly below mine. I'm in my 30s, so like you know, the Zoomers are having more conservative ideals than the people that came right before them, and that would be like the woke generation when we had all that stuff in schools starting. My kids' generation, they don't want anything to do with that. They see it for what it is.
So don't you think he did exactly what he was supposed to? He went to colleges where he know there was certain generations where he
Well,
can.
I think he captured the hypocrisy of the leftist teachings, because in the videos that I'd see with the guy, he would, you know, these people would go out, they'd spew their rhetoric, they'd repeat the same talking points over and over again that you'd see the news say, and then he would ask them the questions. Okay, so you're saying this, and that.
no.
Yes, you are, because that's what that means. And then when he breaks down for them what that means, half the time they'd switch their opinion, or they'd stop talking and leave, or they'd start throwing out ad hominem attacks. I think Charlie Kirk was what happens to a voice that speaks not just truth but balance. I mean, he was more questioning their beliefs and if they believe it or not, or if they even understand what it is that they're saying.
exactly. That's what he was doing. He was making people come to the forefront, allowing you to speak your piece, give you the floor. Okay, now tell me why you believe in that. Why? Outside of what you've been taught in this classroom. Like me personally, I be seeing shit. Like I used to listen to shit as far as like racism and stuff, and then I would go through my life and it never matched. I'm like, damn,
Right.
white people don't treat me differently like that. Like I'm 40 years old. I didn't probably had. I don't think nobody ever called me the N-word ever, besides the homies.
Really?
You know what I'm saying? But I was so hell bent 8 years ago. I would have went to war. Fuck Charlie Kirk, all that.
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, he was challenging. Why do you think like that? You know what I'm saying? And I
Well,
think that made him an enemy though, because people that wanted to continue to be sheep, they was like, oh, okay, well, you know, we got to put an end to this because they starting to figure this shit out. How the hell does Donald Trump, one of the most loved and hated men in the world right now, win a popular vote?
Right.
The
Yeah.
Republicans have only won 4 popular votes in the past 4 decades.
Well, I mean, if you count the fact that they rigged the last election, I mean, how are you shy? You know,
How do we
where those
know
8 million
that, though?
votes go? Where'd those 8 million votes go? I mean, if you say you had this much support and you're still missing 8 million votes, but you won by that margin, where'd those 8 million people go? Now,
Even if
those people could have been taken. I mean, those people could have been taken by the COVID vaccine injury. They could have been, you know what I mean? Like, there's other things that could have happened to them. But for Donald Trump to win the popular vote by the margin that he won just goes to show you that everything we've been seeing over the last 4 years of Biden was bullshit. Everything that they showed us through the media and everything that they said that this is the way everybody thinks, this is what everybody wants, was complete bullshit. And Trump winning proved that.
Well, it was a massive propaganda campaign because, I mean, for the last 4 years of Biden's presidency, or the whole entire 4 years, it seems he was a stage 3 to stage 4 cancer patient that wasn't awake most of the day. So who was running the country?
Obama.
Right, I know that. But aside from that fact, I was going to go what Red Pill was talking about. TikTok and things like that have created this problem, I think, because if, let's say you go on TikTok and you see 3 different or 4 different Charlie Kirk shorts at 20 seconds a piece, and they cut, you know, a quote from his thing out of context to make it look like he said something, and those people never go on YouTube, they never go look at the debate it came from. That's going to be your impression of someone, is just that 15-second clip on TikTok, and anybody can put that any way they want to make it. You know, I mean, that's how propaganda works. So I think, you know, a lot of these kids nowadays, that's how they're getting their information, is memes on Facebook and then TikTok reels.
So, well, I got a little pushback because I'm kind of confused on what's going on here, because if Joe Biden was a hated man, then how come Donald Trump almost had an assassination attempt? So y'all tell me that. What
if Joe?
I do have an answer for that, and my answer is going to go into why you don't see the same kind of political violence from people like myself. I'm a right-wing extremist. I'm anti-government. I think it's all full of shit. I think we all needs to hit reset. The reason you don't see the kind of violence from us that you see from the left is we got jobs, we got families, we got kids and shit. We have responsibilities that these people don't have. All they have is time to spend on TikTok bitching about political issues. I mean, I do that too, don't get me wrong, but I also got a job to keep. You know what I mean? I got bills to pay, I got rent to pay. There's things that keep me from being the revolutionary that these leftists are, that they claim to be. You know, that's why you don't see violence from people on the right, because we're waiting for it to actually matter. What good are we to our cause or our families if we're spending life in prison for assassinating somebody? You know what I mean?
So what about the guy who assassinated Charlie Kirk?
That guy was a leftist. He was a radical leftist. The FBI has already seized of some of his groups that he was part of, and that had potentially helped him with supplying the scope for the rifle, stuff like that. Like there's some political. They keep spewing political rhetoric, like this is we need to end political violence. But they're also at the same time trying to say that the guy was a right-wing extremist and anti-government and all this other stuff. But that's not the case.
I heard on the news how they was pushing it. So why is it so important for them to put that out there in the news then?
Because they want people like us to be the enemy. They want the enemy to stay the same. The media is still run by the left, regardless of who is in power, president, senators, whatever. The left is still, or the media is still leftist ran. So that dark, scary right-wing extremist, that boogeyman in the corner is always going to be their go-to.
Yeah. even if there's no action, even if we don't show, and I do not side myself with right wing extremists. I'm a centrist that, leans pretty heavy right nowadays. We just don't. I mean, these people that you're talking to when you're talking about people that shot Charlie Kirk or people that, burned down buildings and things like that, they don't really have a moralistic center either. So that's one thing on the right that we try to, preach is, God in the Bible and what you should be doing. What, you do have consequences even if you don't, get arrested or things like that. So we just don't want to really cause violence.
So
Yeah,
wait,
we're-
why do you say that? Because look at all these mass school shootings. Or
Those aren't right-wing extremists, though. Those are teenagers that are on antidepressants. That's the difference. And a lot of these school shootings are also gang violence. So, I mean, do we want to get into that part of it too?
yeah, because you said gang violence. Elaborate. What you mean?
So, a lot of these mass shootings that take place here in Chicago, they call them mass shootings because it's more than two people that get shot at a time. I spoke last year at our hearing about our gun ban. The Illinois State Police had a hearing. I spoke at it. The day before that hearing, there was a mass shooting at a party. It was a gang shooting. It was a retaliation. Like something like 10 people got shot or whatever the case may be. But they still mark that down and they can still politicize that, oh, these kinds of mass shootings happen all the time and these things happen. But it doesn't, though. These things don't happen. If you take out all the gang violence, these school shootings and mass shootings are a fraction of what they say they are.
A fraction.
Yeah, because I looked that up today. I did look that up.
But Mac Mall from Chicago. What you think, bro? Because you know what I'm saying, they calling these two or more people that get shot mass shootings. Like that's a whole way to shift the narrative.
It is. But when you start to see it though, and when the information comes out after these people get shot and it comes out that it was gang violence, you don't hear about it again because it doesn't fit the narrative. How many times do you see these school shootings happen? And then like the one in Texas 4 years ago, this kid was 15, he was getting bullied. He brought a gun from the streets and brought it to school and he tried to take out his bullies. But you didn't hear about it because he got the gun illegally. It wasn't from his parents' room. It wasn't from his dad's gun safe. He bought it illegally on the streets and you stopped hearing about it.
All right, let's hear from Mac Mall real quick. Yeah, because, he's from Chicago. I would like to hear some of his insights.
What's the question?
About the gun violence. They calling people if you're getting shot in two or more, they calling it
a mass shooting. A mass shooting.
Yeah, I don't think it's a mass shooting if two or more people get killed. Or at least
no,
I don't
agree. We're just talking about the fact that when they say mass shooting nowadays, they want to attribute it to something like what happened, like like that trans guy that shot up the school in Boston. But now, you got to understand, they're labeling anytime people are out there and two or more people get shot, they call it a mass shooting. So it kind of takes away from I don't know, they got two meanings to the word almost.
Yeah. Okay, so in Chicago, it's always mass shootings. It's just not two or more motherfuckers getting shot together. But it's definitely mass shootings because it's two over here, three over there, four over there, one right here, one over there. So it's about 10, 12 motherfuckers get killed every day.
So how do you think that the city ending their contract with ShotSpotter was a bad thing? Because I think it was a horrible thing.
What is ShotSpotter?
ShotSpotter. Okay, so ShotSpotter is a little thing that they put up, and it'll detect gunshots over the ambient noise of the city. It detects gunshots, will alert authorities, whatever. There's been a lot of people who had their lives saved because ShotSpotter alerted the police. The police showed up, rescued them from their gunshot wounds, whatever. Chicago ended their contract.
Not in Chicago.
Yeah, that happened in Chicago. That's happened.
These motherfucking police not showing up if they hear some shooting. They gonna wait.
It's not if they hear about the shooting. It's ShotSpotter itself telling them, hey, there was shots spotted in this location, and then they go there. Obviously, they show up after the shooting. They're not going to show up while it's happening. But regardless, ShotSpotter was a good thing, in my opinion.
I think it is a good thing, but see, here's the thing, right? And I want y'all to understand this is how I feel coming from Chicago. Although we want to blame police for not doing their job, you got to understand these are regular people just like us. They got families just like us. And the people who patrol these neighborhoods are not from these neighborhoods. Okay? These are suburban motherfucking good college kids that wanted to be police officers because they fathers and grandfathers was police officers. They do not know how to intertwine with people from the hood. And so they be scared. They average people with guns. Just because they police don't mean they tough. These are regular people who have a job. And they is not finna lose their goddamn life trying to be heroic. They want to go back to their family just like everybody else. So when shit happens, yeah, they'll come, but they'll come after the shit is over with. If they see a crowd, if a police see a crowd of people running, just say, okay, say this, right? Say it's a shooting, and this thing you talking about go off and alert them that it's a shooting, and they go over there. I've personally seen in Chicago, I've seen police sit there and watch two niggas shoot each other. And then whoever lived, they killed his ass. But they literally sat there and watched these two people shooting at each other until somebody died.
But like you
So,
said, these are average people. So
right.
do you expect them to step in? I mean,
What?
at a certain point, this is where we get to Trump sending the National Guard to balance out the city. You know what I mean? Like, and I disagree with that. You don't put federal troops in American cities. That's not how this works. You know what I mean?
No, we need that. We need these motherfuckers to go to jail. We need half of them to die, and we need to cleanse our city up. Because here's the thing, right? And I'm with the National Guard, but this is why I'm not with it. I'm 50-50 with it, right? I'm with it because any of y'all live in Chicago?
No.
I used to live. I'm on the north suburbs now. I used to live in the city though.
Okay, so y'all have no idea of how bad it really is in the city, right? So we need the National Guard, but two parts. We need the National Guard, but as soon as the motherfuckers leave, this shit gonna pick back up. It's not gonna stop, right?
Right. Yeah.
As far as
So we
the
don't need them at all.
As far as the
Yeah.
policing go, crime is not gonna get better with the police that we have now. We need policing from our peers. We need whatever police district you work in, it should be only hired by people that come from that neighborhood.
But
Because
so are you
people that come
gonna?
from that neighborhood
Hold on,
know how to handle and know how to navigate the people in the neighborhood. When white folks come around, man, these niggas in Chicago don't respect no fucking police. They spit on their ass, swing on them, all kinds of shit. Like these niggas don't got no respect for police here. Because they figure they bitch ass niggas and they ain't from here. So they like, nigga, you don't get no respect in my motherfucking hood just because you got a gun, nigga. Fuck you. We'll shoot your ass too. That's how they act. So I think we should have policing from the peers in the neighborhood. That's what I think.
So are you gonna turn on your buddy that's selling drugs and selling guns in the neighborhood? Because that's policing our neighborhood, is stopping crime, right?
You do your fucking job. That's what you signed up for.
But I'm saying though, like if we're policing our own neighborhoods, does that mean I would turn in my neighbor who's selling guns and switches? Like that's what policing your neighborhood is though.
Yeah, you're.
But you're not. If you're not a police though, if you're not a police, if it's you, we're policing our own neighborhoods. We're taking care of our own shit.
I'm not saying we police our own. I'm saying the police that work as policemen in the neighborhood should be from the neighborhood.
Yeah, but who from the neighborhood you know is going to be a cop?
A lot of motherfuckers want to be police if they ain't got no goddamn record.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
It's a lot of people that want to do good. They just don't get a second chance.
If people are joining the Black Panthers, I don't see why they wouldn't join the police.
Man, niggas talk. First of all these bitch ass niggas in the street are police. Okay, they just ain't got no badge. These bitch ass niggas, soon as you get in their ass getting the jam, they gonna tell on you. They gonna tell everything. I ain't never seen the hood motherfucker get so proper and so nice and get so many manners until they get in that motherfucking interrogation room. Now all of a sudden they know how to speak proper English.
So with these mass shootings though, and them taking out their ops, wouldn't you say that that's them policing their own neighborhood and solving their own problems?
Absolutely. I think the motherfuckers, for me personally, I think half these some bitches need to die and the rest of them need to go to jail. That's the only.
I don't disagree with that.
Itself out.
But at the same time, it's a cultural problem. We are sitting here perpetuating the same bullshit from our own people. I'm Mexican, so I'm same shit. My people are criminals too. But it's a cultural issue at a certain point, and there's nothing we can do for that because the CIA has been pumping it since the 90s and perpetuating it to keep the black man down, keep everybody in jail, to keep the system running the way it's supposed to, quote unquote, supposed to run. There's no way we can do that without cleaning up our own cultures first. The hood's gonna stay the hood. It's been that way for 40 fucking years at this point.
No, it's
You know what I
not.
mean?
They changing our hood in Chicago, the west side of Chicago. Them white folks taking their shit back.
Yeah, it's called gentrification, though. That's not a good thing.
plenty of
Gentrification is not a good
across the
thing
country.
because where do those ghetto people go? They come up here to my neighborhood, to the suburbs. They
Yeah.
don't, and then they cause problems up here. So it's like,
Absolutely.
what are we doing? We're not solving the problem. We're just pushing it off further and further
Let
away.
me ask you this, like, Fox. What kind of solutions you think it should be?
I think we need the most basic level of solution. I think it needs to be intervention programs that start at the base level in the hood. You got a guy that comes in with a gunshot wound. Instead of taking him to jail and interrogating the motherfucker, ask him, hey, you just got shot. Do you not want to leave this life? If you want a better life, we can help you. We can give you the tools to help you get out of this. If we start there and start at the street level of where the violence comes from and where it happens and what's causing it, and actually help our people, then we can solve it.
Check this out, right? You talking to a nigga that come from the motherfucking street, right? And excuse me, only certain bullet wounds gonna change you, right? When I've been shot 3 times, bro.
Me too.
The first time I got shot, it made me worse because it was a bullshit ass gunshot, bullshit ass bullet. I experienced getting shot, and I thought I was motherfucking Tupac and thought I was invincible. Okay, it made me worse. When I got shot the second time, I damn near died. That's what changed me.
Okay, but the question,
Unfortunately, a lot of people don't get that second chance. They die. So unfortunately, it does take a traumatic thing to happen to certain people for them to get it. But the downside of it is some people don't live to get a second chance.
Okay. So let me switch topics real quick, or not switch, but just go off that. So we're looking at gun control too, and I know people, you can't shoot someone without a gun, obviously, but you get so many different people saying, well, gun control doesn't work. Gun control does work. Why doesn't it work? Like if you look at the city of Chicago, for instance, y'all have the absolute most strictest gun laws in the nation. You need a Ford card to even buy a gun. It's impossible to almost get a carry permit. None of the
there's the gun ban that started last year too.
Well, I know. Yeah, there is that too. You got an AR ban and things like that. I mean, when you look at the streets and stuff like that with these ARs and these Glocks with switches, like what law or what kind of gun control could possibly stop that anyways? Because there's no way to actually do a gun ban. There's 10 billion trillion guns in this country, and 80% of them are probably owned by the criminals. So, if you do a gun ban overall.
But I could do a little pushback on that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because most white collar guys, they're toting guns. They have them for fun. They go out hunting. They go out shooting. Remember, Biden's son accidentally out hunting, accidentally shot somebody on accident. So, and then most of the time when we talk about these school shootings, it don't never be no black person that do a school shooting. So that's what I'm trying to figure out and understand what y'all mean as far as the parallel between guns, because if you from the hood, man, carrying a gun is a totally different thing than how y'all would carry a gun. You feel me?
It's the same. I think it's the same.
Why do you think it's the same?
Because you're carrying it for protection, or you're carrying it to clap your ops. One of the two. You know what I mean? It's the same thing. You're still carrying the device to protect yourself or to stop somebody from hurting you. It's the same exact thing. It's just one's legal and one isn't.
You know how you put a cap on this shit? This is how you stop the violence. You up the punishment for shit. You get caught with a gun illegally, your ass getting 20 years. You kill a motherfucker, your ass get the death penalty. That's what happened. Motherfuckers will start thinking twice about that shit. And then they need to up the motherfucking death penalty. Don't let no motherfucker sit on death row 10, 15 years. Give his ass 6 months and get his ass up out of here. That's what you do. You kill a motherfucker, your ass getting killed. That's simple. I
Eye
bet
for an eye.
motherfuckers get their act
So
together.
Don't
I
We
hey,
was
need
gonna,
harsher punishments. That's
I was
what we
gonna
need.
don't forget you got two people that ain't said nothing yet.
Start hanging motherfuckers
yeah, I
like
don't
the old
mind.
days.
Let's
One sec.
let's see. Two Key, you on here, man. We've been
Yeah,
talking about the gun violence. And I mean you right in that age range. So you speak a little about it.
Yeah,
somebody's not here.
be real with you, man. I don't know. It's kind of a tricky game, man. I don't even know what angle to go with, but I just really seem like it's just leaning as of right now. Um, but honestly, I mean, I think that's just what they want. They just want to make it less on them than, you know what I'm saying, just let shit just go on how it go on. But I mean, for real, how to solve it, I really don't even know for real, because
I
nobody
don't.
gonna just give up their own shit.
Well,
But
no,
at the
no,
end of the day, I really, you know what I'm saying? I really don't really got too much to say on the shit, bro. Like at the end of the day, I just know this is a new world we living in. So, you know what I'm saying? A lot of shit that we used to be like standing firm on, everybody, you know what I'm saying? It's cool now. So, and I've
not
been saying that shit.
Okay.
not wanting to go off. Eric said he's talking about like the two different cultures as far as gun culture. Because yeah, I'm part of that culture nowadays. When I was back growing up, no, I was carrying a gun for protection and everything like that. But nowadays, I'm different. I go out. I like shooting steel, and I just like learning about guns. I think they're interesting, and that comes from my mechanical background. I just think guns are, this crazy invention. You got 38,000 psi that you're letting go in your hand, and you're okay. So things like that. But that's a good point. Is why do we carry guns? Why does someone carry a gun? Here versus there? And I think at some point, like they were saying, you can't have this revolving door policy anymore. You can't get arrested one day for guns and be out the next week, and then you just commit the same fucking crime over and over again. So yeah,
But if they're misdemeanors, if they're misdemeanor crimes, we got to go by the book. I mean, a
well,
misdemeanor is a misdemeanor.
No, they're not misdemeanors here
there's
unless
no
you get caught
misdemeanor
in the
gun
house
code.
with a gun.
Yeah,
If
if
you
you're
get
outside
caught in
the
the
house,
house
they're
with a
all
gun, it's a
felonies.
misdemeanor. Outside your house is a felony.
Yeah.
So you're
Well, you
saying
also
you're saying that if somebody gets caught with a gun, they should get football numbers.
Mm,
If
I mean, I
you
see.
well, that's a tricky subject too, because you got motherfuckers out here that just, might have a record from their past and can't get no CCL, and shit, they still got a right to defend their motherfucking life. You need a gun in Chicago. All that extra shit, like
Yeah.
motherfuckers be acting like you can move around this bitch like a black man. No, you got to, when you come to the city, you got to act like a nigga.
Yeah. So it's damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Facts. So it puts you in a tricky situation because motherfuckers like me, I just copped out last week. I'm on papers right now. This is my fifth goddamn gun case. And I just carry guns so I can make it home to my motherfucking kids. I ain't trying to do shit. But they steady catching me, but ain't catching the motherfuckers killing people.
That's crazy.
That is wild.
That
So
is
B
wild.
Wade, are you with us, B Wade?
Yeah, I haven't heard from her yet. This
I'm
happened
here.
last week or a week before. She couldn't talk for some reason.
Oh,
Oh, there she
okay.
is. Beautiful.
All right. We want to hear from you. What's
Yep.
your on
I'm
gun?
scared of guns. I don't like guns. I don't really have a viewpoint about that, but I know when my son had turned 18, he was excited to tell me that his dad was taking him to go get a gun, and I went ballistic. Like, he couldn't take you to get a haircut for 18 years, but he can take and go get a gun. Like, that's out. We're not doing that. And I have 7 brothers, and they have never been one that carried a gun. And so my perspective on that is that when you don't carry a gun, you're not really triggered to use it. And none of my brothers have been shot. So I just feel like they're just not, and they're not like square, guys or, whatever, whatever. But, they're want to be rappers and all that. But they don't experience, that gunplay lifestyle, and I think it's due to not carrying it. Myself, I feel like if I did have a gun, I probably would have shot several people by now, like in the foot, just leave me alone. I don't, because
Well, that's a good thing to know about yourself. If you don't feel like that a gun is going to help you, or you feel like you'd be irresponsible with a gun at some point, then yeah, it's probably not a
Yeah.
good idea to have a gun. But like what Matt Mall was saying, it's like when you enter certain portions of the country, you have to be strapped, like, or just don't enter. Like that's the other thing we were talking about the other week is people going places that they have no business going. Like,
Well,
you know,
A
this is
rapper with no gun is insane.
I want
yeah.
Red Pill, man. I mean, you from KC, man. I mean, it's a lot of violence down there.
Yeah,
definitely.
no, it's crazy where I'm from. This is my thing. I'm not that nigga. I'm not no violent person. I don't do shit to people. I don't fuck with nobody. So me personally, outside of July 29th, nigga, when them niggas ran up on me, I ain't never felt like I needed a gun in my life. You know what I'm saying? Even though I be in the trenches, I be chilling with niggas, and I'm the only nigga without a gun. I'm just the type of person that be like, if I get a gun, that shit's coming. Cause I believe in that shit. You know what I'm
And
saying?
if
With a
you
nigga,
an average working 9 to 5 man in Chicago, you can move around pretty much in silence and won't nobody fuck with you unless you get caught lacking. Niggas like me ain't no going and just if I move around in the city, I gotta take 5, 6 niggas with me. You can't get caught by yourself.
right?
All that, I'm an OG and I got respect from back in the day, but these niggas don't care about that shit no
They-
more.
At
Your
all.
ass come outside with my jewelry and pocket full of money, nice car with rims and shit, man. They gonna rob your ass, bro. Like you
That's
only
why you
cool
carry a gun.
around the people you know, but Chicago's so big, it's impossible, and there's so many fucking snakes here. It's impossible to say, "Oh, I'm cool with them niggas over there." No, the fuck you ain't.
so here's a
You
question
think
real
you
quick.
is.
So if Trump, gets access to the south side of Chicago to do his thing, he's already got ICE in there, but if he sweeps it up like he swept up DC, is there any possibility of the community that's left over, which is most of the community, uh, doing what Kurt said or Sly Fox said earlier and being able to kind of police or kind of train the next generation? Because it seems like to me, if you remove the cancer, this could be cleaned up or this could be changed in just one generation.
We too far behind. It's the thing about it is we used to be like in the 80s and 90s, you could fix it with like, hey, we got to stop this shit. We got to fix it. Now people don't care. People don't care unless it's they kids, unless it's they homie, unless it's they. I don't know that nigga. I don't owe him nothing. They'll see you getting robbed. I seen it. It was a video about some dude and his brother was at the store or some shit, and they ran up on him and killed him. And he was like, everybody at the store knew him. They ain't even defend him. Until we get back to community, which I just take it out completely out my mind because we so far gone now. I'm like, bro, it's all about individually right now. Everybody got to get their core together. Get your core together, and you'll walk around and move. If everybody at peace in their core, maybe we could talk about some community shit. We're not gonna move in no unison to stop gun violence, none of that shit.
You
You know
know
what I'm
what
saying?
else is the problem? See, here's a deeper problem than these goddamn kids, right? You got to understand a lot of these ghetto ass kids is being raised by ghetto ass parents.
Yep.
They parents is edging this shit on. They
Yeah,
parents is making them feel like being a dickhead is okay.
right.
And,
And they'll go
and on top
defend
of
that
that,
shit.
on top of that, Ma, ain't no way in hell my little kid is outside and I don't know. Like the way they outside, there's no way my kid is outside like that without me knowing where the fuck they at. The parents is lazy. Like you said, I blame a lot of this shit on the parents.
Well,
And you can almost hear the black moms inside of them. I mean, you can almost hear them talking like women a lot of times when they talking shit.
But
They're
it's
raised by women.
Man, these bitches here in Chicago raise their sons like the nothing ass niggas they like to fuck.
Yep. I was gonna say
Okay.
that earlier.
And
Like
this
you
is
got
why
all
you
these.
got little ass kids running around this bitch with leather pellies on, dreads, got the ears pierced, they got gold chains and shit. Why you dressing this boy like a fucking gangbanger?
Or
Let
like
him
a
be a
drug
kid.
dealer. Or
Well,
a drug dealer.
you get
Like
back to
your little boy supposed to have on, some little Nikes or some light up shoes. Let him be a kid, man. You growing this little motherfucker up there, you raising him to be a killer. And then on top of that, we all buying our kids phones. They 5, 6 years old and they not screening and monitoring what they watching. So every time they flick, they watching the same shit they mom and daddy's watching at 5 and 6.
Agreed.
You raising a fucking piece of shit.
Right.
So let's put it this way. So we understand the problem and we understand what's going on, but is there an actual breaking point? Like, what is going to happen, if anything? And I'm not just talking about Chicago. I'm just talking about, violent cities in general, violent natures, the idea that you can't talk to anybody, you have to shoot them now. Like, is there a breaking
It's
point
too
where,
late. It's too late.
Yeah,
so
Red
you
you
Pill
think
have
it's
to
already
too
shoot him.
said
late?
it.
If you get into it with a motherfucker in Chicago, you better have a gun or walk the fuck away. Ain't no
So you,
arguing and be like, okay, we men, we came to. Ain't no talking it out. If you
Yeah,
get
those
into
days
it with a
are
nigga,
over.
you better shoot him or he gonna shoot your ass.
And
so you don't,
it almost makes you change your morals. Because like you said, you might be a guy that wants to, I can talk this out, man. We don't need to go through this.
yeah,
But if he on that bullshit, you got to be on that bullshit or it's a wrap.
Yep.
Now,
And then
now he
and
That
think
then
that
you a
guess what?
bitch.
And
Now he
then
think you
that
a
guess
that
what?
bitch.
You
that
the
that mindset that we used to have to where when we fought and we could talk it out, that shit is over with. You
hell
know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Because if I see your ass a second time, that shit's happening on site again. So yeah,
Yeah.
that shit ain't gonna never go away.
And like he said, even if you a different type of nigga and you want to talk it out, these motherfuckers will make you jag your future off. You be like, hold on, little homie, it ain't that serious. Let's talk about it. You feel me? Be like, no, fuck that bitch ass nigga, I'll kill you. Now
yeah,
you want to kill his ass and you
Yeah.
gonna jag your future off for a dumbass nigga that's gonna die anyway.
yeah. You can try to be
Because you know
civil and
you
you can
gotta
try to
get the
have
first punch in
conversations.
before he get off anyway. You gotta
Ain't
get
no,
it off.
and man, if you punch your motherfucker here, you gonna die.
I'm
Yeah,
about
All
to
you
that
say,
get
yeah,
fighting
shot.
fuck all
shit,
that.
that shit
You're not
over with,
listening,
bro.
baby. You're not listening. Ain't no punching gonna. You get that punch off, you that nigga better go to sleep or
Yep.
you dead.
He
This shit is
definitely
a
gotta
wrap.
go to sleep. He
Yeah, because
But
nobody
definitely
look,
can
let
gotta
me
fight
go
say
to
anymore.
sleep.
something. Hey, AP, what's
Yeah,
that saying in the comments? We got
I'm
Robin in
trying
the
to
comments.
talk
yeah.
them
He
out
Guess
says
of
what though?
things are
Guess
getting
what
worse.
though?
Will
Hold on
continue
one
to get
second,
You
Ma.
worse.
Hold on one
force
second,
you
Ma. Go ahead, P.
Yeah,
I
things are
was saying
getting worse and will continue to get worse. The time for
pick
change is
somebody out
over.
of
And honestly, I'm seeing the same thing from the right. That's the problem that kind of sparked this debate. Is when I was watching some videos just from people on the street and some podcasts the last couple of days. It seems from after this shooting happened, and we're talking back about the Charlie Kirk thing. It seems that the right, the Republicans, have made this blanket statement of there is no talking anymore. There's only action. So that's my problem. Is you got one group of people that don't have any morals and they do whatever the fuck they want all the time and then laugh about people's death. And then you got the other side who don't really want to start shit, but now they're saying, the time for words is over. So it seems like, I mean, there should have been something that happened by now that we could have came together. But like you guys are saying, and I'm starting to believe it too. It's almost like we're too far gone.
That's exactly what Robin's saying in the comments.
Yep.
Yeah, it's too far gone, bro. Because if, like you said, even if you knock a motherfucker out, you gotta. It's another day, motherfucker. What about
Yep.
tomorrow? What about
Yep.
the next day? He
Well,
gonna kill your ass.
I even had that thought back in high school because I had some gang problems and I was thinking, just internally to myself when I had beef sometimes, I was like, if I go fight this guy, am I going to be alive tomorrow? Are they going to take, if I win, are they going to take that ass whip and go home and just go on with their life? No, they're not.
Hell no.
So you can't even fight people nowadays. I couldn't fight people 20 years ago without fear of somebody coming back and shooting me.
Man, these niggas ain't finna fight no way. These niggas
No.
pop pills, do drugs, smoke weed. These niggas got 5 punches in them before they dead. Before they fucking out of breath. They not fighting.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
Yep. That is a
Robin also says, she said next step is complete lawlessness.
Yeah. I mean, that's where it seems that we're heading. And that was the point of this. I was trying to, ask the panel to see if there was any kind of avenue to bring the sides together. But I mean,
I
Well,
mean,
let me
they're
say something real quick, because I remember we was talking the other day. Maybe I missed it or not, but we had a talk as well about just the way when it comes to, because remember we talk. I think the gun control, whatever the fuck they doing over there in London, I think that's what we should do. I don't know the ins and outs of it, but it's so bad that's where they're at. Like when you start seeing kids getting shot at schools, you start seeing. Well, we've been seeing martyrs getting shot, very important people getting shot. Like what is, like you said, what is the spot where we be like, all right, yo, we done with guns? And I told P, I don't think it's ever gonna get there because, sorry to say this, the white man loves them guns too goddamn much. They're not gonna let them guns go no matter who dies. And I
well,
think it's a simple problem that America just don't want to solve.
do you
it's
know what's
all
happening in London right now?
They're stabbing each other because they don't got guns.
And they got invaded by Islam without a
I get
shot
away
being
from a knife
fired.
quicker than I get away from a bullet.
Not really, though. I mean, if people like to say that we can adopt the UK model, but you also have to realize that the entire island of the United Kingdom is smaller than New York State. Their population is the size of one of our like medium-sized states. So yeah, that kind of take away their guns and take away their knives, take away their forks and spoons. It works for them for the most part because they have such a small populace in the first place. It doesn't work for us culturally because we have A, more landmass, B, it's a sport here, and C, the Second Amendment exists specifically so we keep our guns, so our government doesn't overthrow us and keep us as slaves again.
And I'm glad you said that right there.
Me
That's
too.
the
I'm
shit I'm
glad he
sick of
said
hearing
it
right
too.
there.
Yeah.
To me, no offense to anybody that believes what he's saying or rocks with that, but that's comic book shit to me. That I don't believe that's ever going to happen. I think people like that are thinking too scary that our government is going to flip on us and turn us into slaves. I can't rock with that mentality. Maybe I'm ignorant for thinking that, but I can't think. I don't. That's movie shit to me.
They're already doing it. They're already doing it. All these
How?
things because you're literally a wage slave, are you not? The reason we're not in the streets revolting, the reason we're not doing the same things that these crazy fucking leftists are doing is because we have to go to work. I've got bills to pay. I've got rent to pay. I'm a fucking wage slave because of this government.
That ain't why.
Yeah, let Evan re-explain your point a little bit, Evan.
Go ahead.
No, I'm saying I hear what you're saying, fam, but I don't think that's why. I just don't think that people are that upset like it. When black, especially I'm talking about black people because I can only talk about black people. But when black people get to that point, y'all see what we do. Y'all see what happens when they get that upset. When we get pushed to the point where we sick and fucking tired, we show it. And again, I don't think this is a black people's problem. I know P earlier said this is an American problem, but to me, this is white folks' business that I don't really got no business in.
But then why is there more gun violence committed by black people than white people? How is it a white people problem if black people are killing each other and other people more than white people are? That doesn't add up.
Yeah,
well, you can say that, but I'm saying again, we're talking about if I'm talking about mass shootings, because again, crime is going to be crime. You can take guns away. Motherfuckers get stabbed in prison, like you said. You can take all the guns out. Crime's going to be crime. There's going to be criminals. But if we're going to lower and lessen it, you got to get rid of these motherfucking guns. There should be no reason why a motherfucker has a gun with a bullet this goddamn big that goes. It don't make no sense, my nigga.
Well, because this is America.
Half of these motherfuckers that live in this country don't live in Chicago. They live in the middle of fucking nowhere, and they got guns stacked to the ceiling. For what?
Because they can.
Yeah,
because
like I said, y'all know you know how to fix the problem. Y'all will never fix the problem because y'all love them motherfucking guns too much. I literally think y'all be in that motherfucker masturbating with the gun. No
I
shit.
do. I jerk off to my gun every night. I won't disagree with that. I love the guns. I love the guns more than I love most people. I will give you that.
But that's what I'm saying. That's what they're trying to push, man. Everything.
But the thing is, I think too, is you're complaining about white people with guns. But
it's not a complaint. It's not a complaint. It's a fact.
You're facting white people with guns. We have tons of guns. I agree.
But so do black people.
But the difference is, like I got all my guns legally. I bought them all legally.
But like you said, though, we killing each other.
Yeah.
Hold on. Real quick, Pete. You was about to say something because we was about to say it earlier. You was about to say something, but remember you said something to me where you said it's not black people's fault that when they see guns, when we usually see. Tell me what you said when you said that because I don't want to take your words out your mouth.
You good? Okay, so I think what Evan's referring to is a conversation we had earlier when white people, or not white people, let's say people on the right, because there's tons of black gun owners now that are also Republicans that have this exact same view.
Fix your
hold on. Your mic is fucked up.
Yeah, fix your volume, fam.
Fix your mic.
Yeah, fix your volume.
We good?
No, you sound like you muffled in the background.
Let's try this again. Any better?
Yeah, that's
perfect. Perfect.
Okay, cool. All right, so when we see guns or we buy guns, our immediate usage of those guns or thought to use those guns is not to go out, carry them in the street, and try to save ourselves from beef or get into beef. We enjoy shooting the guns. We enjoy going to the shooting range, talking about guns, hitting targets. It's fun as fuck. But when I was talking to Evan about this, my point was if you grow up in a community or you grow up in an environment that the only thing you see guns being used for is to shoot your friends and family and schoolmates and things like that, there is no use for guns other than that in your mind frame. So it's hard to have, to understand from like Evan's point of view or Mac Mall's point of view, when you see this and you only see one thing used for guns, then I can understand why you don't want to see a gun ever again, why you want to see all guns in the bottom of a lake. But the
What you
problem
think
is,
about that, Cal? Hey, Cal.
yeah, where are you? There we go.
Can you
Yeah,
hear
what
us,
y'all think
Cal?
about?
What you
Yeah,
think
yeah.
about that? What he said? You agree with that?
Say it again, because like you cutting in and out.
Okay. Short version is when people from the right or people that are conservatives or people that buy their guns legally buy guns, we're not looking to go out in the streets. We're not looking to go out and cause problems or even defend ourselves from things. Yes, that's what a gun is ultimately for, but we're not putting ourselves in those situations. What we're looking to do with guns is train them, talk about them, take them apart, understand them, research, and go out and shoot and plink and have competitions. Whereas what I was talking to Evan about in private is if you grow up in a community like south side of Chicago and all you ever see guns, when you see them, people are getting shot and leaking on the pavement, you're going to have a completely different view of what a gun is for and what it should be for and how you're supposed to use guns, when you're supposed to have them. So, it's a black and white issue, like butting heads against each other trying to talk about it.
It's so much. I would say it's so much gray area when it comes to the guns, and so like a responsible person will get a gun for protection and for hunting, whatever. But it gets into the hands of people who, when you put it into the hands of a person who can't fight or got ego issues, that's where all the trouble started to begin. And growing up in like the hood or whatever, like I grew up in Kansas City, Midtown area, and a lot of times what I ran into is like cats who can't fight, after they get their ass whooped, they run and go get a gun because they can't handle getting their ass whooped like
Yep.
that. And I think it's just due to like people you use it to protect yourself, but they protecting themselves in the wrong way, and it starts to be flashy. It starts to be a symbol. People like, especially in the inner city, just like we got a tendency to glorify that shit, and really like that. I think that's a big problem. Uh,
Word.
we
Yep.
shouldn't be using it just to be showing off and be like, I got a gun with my ops and all that other shit. People, some of the younger people get guns for all the wrong reasons, where like more family oriented people get the guns for protection.
Yeah.
Like I got my shit for protection. Like, but you know what I'm saying? I don't sit around and just be bragging about that shit. You never see it on me, but if some shit pop off with my eyes closed and one hand behind my back in the dark room.
I
Yeah.
know that's right.
Well, and that's another good point that you made. Like you didn't buy the gun to be flashy, to tell people that you had a gun. Like when I'm carrying, it's you can't tell. I'm not out there talking to people like, I got a gun on me. If anything pops off, I got your back. Like,
Right.
no.
I want to hear from Dame. Dame, you used to live in a city that's real violent, man. What you think about the gun control or the gun violence?
Man,
You with us?
it's kind of I mean, it's rough, bro. It's kind of, I heard somebody say a gray area. I kind of agree with that analogy, but a lot of times we just, like he just said, it's all about your maturity level for real. Like I love guns myself, but as a convicted felon, I know I can't be out here carrying no gun. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So
Right.
it's more so like where you at, what you doing, you know what I'm saying? How you carry yourself. I just heard somebody talking about how you can't get into it with people and all this and this. So yeah, it's a lot, man. It's a lot that come with that. Like, it's a conversation that can go on and on and on. But
Having a
I
gun, I think having a gun comes it comes with responsibility.
Yeah.
You got a lot of power in your hands, and you know what I'm saying, it can either go well, it can go good, or it can go bad. And it's just based off the choices that you make. And I think with people with big egos that can't that quick to dish it out but can't take the hit or anything, are those people, you know what I'm saying, you need to question. Like, I think in some cases you need to like take a little test or something before you get registered to get a gun or something. Like are you mentally stable enough
That's
to
fair.
get a weapon?
And
But
see
I
that
was, but on the other hand, I'm gonna tell you like this: just being out and being different places and meeting different walks of life. I seen some of the craziest people, batshit crazy, that can pull it together long enough to pass the test or to
There you
finish
go.
to get
let me
through.
That's
You got,
exactly what I was gonna say.
okay.
you know what I'm saying? Like sometimes like a psychological exam could benefit, but it can't. But I think if like, you know what I'm saying, I think that would slow down. You won't be able to get them all, but you'll be able to slow down some people who uh who could get who can get these guns for all the wrong reasons.
So
Right.
that
So
circles back. Go ahead, Eric.
no, I was just saying, Robin, she had a question for all of us.
Yeah.
She said, "Do y'all believe in one world order or one world currency?"
She's talking about the NWO idea. She's talking about, the globe. Like they already did it in Europe. They did the euro. So nobody has their own currency anymore. And they were talking about in America using the Amero. It was just a copy of that idea.
Well, just yesterday, we had over 50 of our senators and representatives in Israel at the 50 states One Israel convention. So, I mean, if you want to talk one world order, that's kind of where it starts.
So I don't want to get too off track here. We were talking about, so I know what she's talking about. Yeah. So you think that there are different measures we could put in place as far as getting a gun? Because that's the thing when you're talking about like mental health and things like that. Yeah, we need to be checking these people to make sure they're not psychotic. But all like if you're talking about
Man,
the
they
South,
want guns. They want guns on the street. They not about to do
right,
all that. They want
right,
us killing each other. They not doing
Right.
no psychological.
And,
They not
and
doing
and,
none
that's
of
how they
that.
make money.
They not
and,
doing none of that. Trust me, they not.
and to expand on what Pam is saying, the truth be told, the way how I look on things, I
Well,
think
let's switch up the subject. What's the next topic, P? You got?
Well, we were on the last topic. We covered the 3 topics I got, but we can talk about more on here. So past this, what he was just talking about, because I wanted to talk about that too, honestly, is the reason that there's so much violence in these democratic cities is on top, or it is directly correlated to who's running the city. So just a small example here. We're going to talk about Chicago again, and we're going to talk about Brandon Johnson. So that guy owes $1.6 billion to the federal government. The reason he owes $1.6 billion is he was taking all the COVID relief and he was taking the migrant relief paychecks from the government for the last 4 years under Biden. He was spending it on everything but what he should have. So now that Trump's in office and he stopped the checks coming, all of a sudden there's a deficit. And
But I'll stop you right there real quick because Illinois has always done that. We were given $10 million 10 years ago to overhaul our FOID program, and they spent that money on bullshit. We've been doing that a very long time.
Right. I'm not saying that it's recent. I'm saying the reason. Violence actually gets these people paid. These aldermen, these governors, these
that's a great
mayors.
point.
It gets them paid because what they're allowed to do is they're allowed to go to the government and they're going to say, well, we have a lot of violence on the south side of Chicago. We need to fix that. Well, how do you want to fix that? Well, we're going to start a bunch of community outreach programs. We're going to get a bunch of aldermen to talk to the people, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Anything but fucking backing the police and giving them actual ability to do their job, they're going to say they're going to do. Now, we know from here in Indianapolis, we got the 10-point coalition. We have a Democratic mayor. None of that shit does shit. It doesn't make a damn bit of difference. They're still going to shoot each other. So as long as there is violence and people dying, that gives them an excuse to ask for more money for these programs that don't actually do anything.
But you know what perpetuates that, though, is the district attorney themselves. These district attorneys that get appointed in these high crime areas are almost 90% of the time funded by George Soros. He's literally turned these blue cities into crime cesspools by appointing these district attorneys that give slap on the wrist sentencing. That's how you perpetuate the crime. You keep the criminals on the street. Now in Illinois,
tell the fans out there who you talking about, so they understand who you mean.
Be a little bit more.
So
when you bring his name up.
So the district attorney, George Soros, is like the Emperor Palpatine of all the bad shit that happens in this country. The guy is the money source for most of the leftist funded bullshit that you see. These protests that spawned up about the Palestine protests or last year, that was all Soros funded stuff. He's literally the pocketbook for the left wing people that we see on the news that are out there protesting. He's the guy that pays for all this stuff. Because it's not these people that are paying for it. It's not these people that are like grassroots protesting. It's all funded by this one person and his money, George Soros.
Yeah, he's been behind the scenes for years funding all this stuff. So
Hey, man, it was something that
So you
this
said
guy,
meaning funding. So he's
like
just
directly funding, like
okay.
paying for what they're doing.
Like paper trail and everything leading to George
Yeah.
Soros's owned NGOs.
So tell me why y'all think he's getting away with this if we
Because
already
he's
know.
powerful.
Because he owns them. He literally owns the shit. When you're an old, rich white man, you can get away with anything. I think we can all agree with that. If you're an old, rich white man that has senators in their pocket, you can get away with fucking anything.
Yeah, at this point.
For the most part, yeah.
I mean, look at just for instance, Chicago itself. We stopped doing cash bail a couple of years ago. So now when I get pulled over, if I get rolled and I have my gun that's not registered, that's a ticket. I don't even have to go to court. I get a ticket and a court date that's 2, 3 months, 6 months out, and then that's it. So in that 2, 3, 6 months, if I don't show up to court, they put a warrant for me. But we don't have people to enforce those warrants. So you've got criminals out there, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 gun charges. I mean, you heard some, I don't remember who it was, but earlier they were talking about, yeah, if you get caught with a gun, 20 years. Okay, but how many of us have been caught with guns? You know what I mean? So you're saying that anybody in this chat should have been doing 20 years by now for getting caught with a gun, for just having it to protect ourselves in the ghetto? I mean, there's no solution that we can have that's going to end the gun violence because it's perpetuated socially. It's a social problem that's never going to be stopped. But it's at a certain point, man, like, we got to realize that the problem here isn't each other. It's not the ghetto. It's not the rich white people. It's the government itself for perpetuating the circumstances that keep us where we are.
Okay. Mac Mall, I haven't heard from Mac Mall in a while. Is he still there? I think.
Mac, you still on here, buddy?
The government more powerful than the president. The president ain't nobody.
He's a temporary employee.
Yeah, he's a puppet. He's the guy. He's the face right now. Everybody needs someone to hate or they need someone to love, and that's what the president's for.
But again, that was my question from earlier. So if Joe Biden was more hated than Donald Trump, why is they trying to assassinate Donald Trump and not try to assassinate Joe Biden?
Because Donald Trump is a threat to the deep state. He's not the same. He's not owned by the same people that Biden was owned by. Biden, the family was owned by China, and China owns the entire leftist party. The entire Democratic Party is owned by China, which is why under Obama you didn't see him do anything when they were militarizing the Sea of China over there by Taiwan. They did nothing because they're in bed with China.
Yeah. And you know what? I'll answer that question too. I think that the right-wing Republicans, they not violent like that. I think it kind of goes back to that. They wasn't trying to assassinate Biden. They was trying to assassinate Trump. That's the Democrats.
Because it's on the right-wing side of things, we're all family men. We got jobs, we got careers and shit. We got bills to pay. We're not these leftists that have nothing. These people have literally nothing but what they see in consume media-wise.
It's not just that, but it's also a fundamental moral difference. Like on the right, we don't currently, I know there's been times in histories where there's been right-wing extremists, but right now that's not an option for us. We, like Charlie Kirk that's what we were talking about, is getting together and talking to people. We don't shoot people that disagree with us. So it's there's a culture
unless they're the government.
Inside. Yes.
Yeah, but see, nobody. My bad. I'm reading the comments. Nobody's always right. It's just the point that the right got the moral code, and I peeped that a long time ago, bro. The Democrats is just a bunch of motherfucking chameleons. You know what I'm saying? They say what you want to hear, and the results don't never add up. They don't know how to enforce laws in even in the local parties. Still fuck everything up. You're gonna legalize marijuana and then not give people gun laws. You gotta regulate the gun laws after you give people the right to smoke weed, which everybody want to jump on that shit. But then now you got a whole bunch of high motherfuckers running around with guns.
I think I'd take a high motherfucker run around with a gun versus somebody who's drunk.
Well, that too, but I get that. But now you got high and drunk motherfuckers running around with guns.
Yeah, it hasn't been too much of an issue out here since we legalized weed. But the trope with that too in states that legalize weed, like Illinois, we have the FOID card. No other state does that. If you want to partake in legal marijuana, you can't. You have to give up your FOID card. You got to give up your guns, and they make you choose between your Second Amendment right and the right to smoke weed legally.
But that's the point. Which one do you want more?
My guns, obviously.
You do. A lot of people just like, fuck that. I'm gonna smoke and I'm gonna just ride low key with my gun. And then what happens when you get caught?
You get a ticket and you get a court date for 60 days later. That's my point. Like they've decriminalized crime in this state, which is why we have the problems that we have.
So hold on. So if you get caught with weed and guns, it's the same. It's just a ticket. Just
you
like
still get a ticket. Yeah, we don't do cash bail anymore, dude. They don't take you to jail right then and there anymore, unless it's like a really big thing, like you actually got caught trying to shoot somebody. They don't take you to jail right then and there. They give you a ticket and a court date, and that's it. That's the end of cash bail. We don't do that here anymore. We haven't done that in 2 years.
You must be talking about for people with no record.
Yeah, hold on.
Well, yeah, if you got no fucking record, but if you got caught with a gun 6 times, I mean, hey, man, stop carrying a gun.
If you under the influence and you get caught with a gun, you just get a ticket.
Yeah, it's just a ticket, man. It's just a ticket, bro. It's just a ticket.
Drugs and guns, and you just get a ticket.
Now, if you get caught, let's say for argument's sake, I leave the dispensary. I bought a quarter and it's in the bag still. It's in the dispensary bag that I fucking bought it in. I get pulled over. They find my bag. They find my gun. That's still a ticket. It's not a DUI because the bag is sealed and it's from the dispensary. It's in a sealed airproof bag or whatever they call it. It's still just a ticket. They're not going to take you to jail over that. That's the point of ending cash bail was to I don't remember how they put it. There was a leftist thing that they put it to like to help the black community, whatever the fuck. But they're literally just perpetuating crime. Yeah, they're just perpetuating the crime because because me personally, if I know it's just a ticket, I am more likely to commit that crime because it's just a fucking ticket. What do I care?
So they can get you together.
Exactly.
Right.
They adding up the bread. It's all money, bro. And that's the problem, though. At the end of the day, what I'm saying, not getting caught with weed that you just bought for medicinal use. I mean, for
recreational, whatever.
Recreational, yeah. But I'm saying you high and you got a pistol. You telling me they writing me a ticket?
Yeah, they also have to prove that I'm high. So I mean, reason of doubt is on them. If they can prove I'm high and I got a gun, if I got caught with my gun and I'm high, well, maybe I'm just fucking stupid and I deserve it. But like, that's a lot of things that got to come inside with that. That's a special case. You know what I mean? They got to prove that you're fucking high.
I got a question real quick for y'all.
Yeah.
Why do y'all think bigger cities like, we're going to use Chicago because Chicago is always one of the cities that they... Do y'all know that it's smaller cities more violent than places like Chicago?
Like Memphis?
East St. Louis. Period.
Yeah, East St. Louis, yeah.
You said where?
East St.
Memphis and East St. Louis.
What you know about East St. Louis?
Well, I'm from KC, so I'm a Missouri nigga.
I knew people from there.
I'm from East St. Louis, just so y'all know. But it's literally cities that's worse than Chicago if we talking about violence, and they smaller cities. Why don't we hear about these cities?
Because you also don't have those smaller cities. They don't take a part in rap music. You got drill music coming from Chicago. You've got all these rappers.
That's not true.
I mean, come on, man, come on.
That's not true.
Drill music was created to talk about killing people, so
that's so not true.
It's not true because I literally watch drill music videos all the time.
Hold on,
I'm telling you that it's rappers from smaller cities. They probably just don't have a bigger following as a Chicago drill rapper would have. You see what I'm saying? But it's definitely rappers from smaller cities. If we just talk about music, I mean, music, they don't really align.
Right, but we're talking about the social, right? And with the way that everybody looks at it, rap music as a whole is perpetuating the problem. You can't tell me that you want to help the problem and then still listen to rap music because you're perpetuating it by taking part in it. and taking part in glorifying it.
I respectfully disagree.
You mean you can disagree, but it's a fact. You're still perpetuating it by glorifying the culture
I
of
mean, I
rap
know a
music
lot
that
of
is
people who
shooting people
listen
and
to rap
selling
music.
drugs. I
I know
mean,
a lot of people who listen to rap music who still live pretty regular lives. Like they don't indulge with the stuff that they hear in the rap music.
And,
You
and
feel
they were
me?
selling
I
drugs,
can
and they were selling drugs and shooting people before rap too.
I
But see,
consider myself
also,
retired, bro. But I mean, at the
also,
same time, I still enjoy rap music too. But like, it does perpetuate the problem. You can't disagree that it perpetuates the issue in black culture of drug dealing and shooting each other. It
I'm not
definitely.
arguing that it does
So
perpetuate it. There's no
so
doubt
so
about it. It does. However,
but it
it's
didn't
going to
create it.
happen whether rap music's around or not. Shooting and drug dealing is just going to happen because of poverty, not because of rap music.
Right,
I
right,
want to hear
right,
from
right, right,
Cal
right.
because I think Cal wanted to say something. Did you want to
Yeah.
say something, Cal?
I don't know. I was just saying, like, we can't say when you say like the rap music generalized and all of that, like the hip hop, like I think it's different types of it. It's like the grown rap where people don't even be on that. People be on more like uplifting stuff, like
Yeah.
like Big Crit or something like that, or like
The conscious
other
guy.
people that don't. Yeah, more conscious rap, more people that's not even on
J,
that
the J.
time.
Cole's of the world.
Like gospel rap, because people have been
The
listening
J.
Yeah, I
to
mean,
Cole's
that,
of the
man.
Whoa,
world.
whoa,
but
whoa,
you know what
whoa,
I'm saying?
whoa.
It's like it's not even gospel. I'm not even just saying God. We said gospel is a good example that we can't even group in that. But like there's certain parts of elements of hip hop that's not even on the violence or that time. But we do have to address like the shit like the drill rap, the what I'm saying, this is a lot of people around the age of like, between 16 to maybe 35, that age range, that demographic right there is that one that's that rah group because they're immature and shit. And they see what it is. They see people profiting. They see it as a way. We as like people that live in the inner city need to provide different ways to like show them there's different ways it's other ways to get money than selling it for that. You damaging your own neighborhood by like condoning this shit. And we ain't even gotta talk about having a gun. You put the gun down, that don't make you fool. You know what I'm saying? If people will understand, like by doing this hot headed shit they doing, they gonna do nothing but fill the prisons up. Uh Really, it's like we could talk about this now. We need to be all in here just doing our part to change the narrative overall. Like reach out to
So,
somebody and be an influence, a
and that's
good
what I want to
influence.
ask you then. So how do we change the narrative? What's your idea of changing the narrative then?
That comes back to.
I
Go ahead.
think I think right
Create
here. I think
resources
right
to,
here.
Hmm?
I was going to say create resources to give them these opportunities. I'm an accountant and I also do expungements. And I know a couple months ago, I put out a post to like any young man between the age of 18 to 25. I was doing their expungements for free. So
Yeah.
I had a couple people, but just taking the initiative to do, anything to change one life kind of helps one at a time. And I was going to present just what that young man said earlier when you were talking about what was the solution and how can you, like you said, that these people are so far gone. I was actually robbed at gunpoint by two young men. It was kind of like a setup when I was kind of hustling and stuff. And um, just because like it just reminded me like I didn't want to, first of all, I didn't have a gun. And then I thought about like if this was my child in this situation, how would I want someone to respond to my child? And I just started talking to these young men, not even pleading for my life, kind of pretending like I didn't know what was going on. But the way I talked to them, it kind of just changed, the way the communication was. Like the entire time I was talking, I had a gun pointed, at me. But I was just talking to them about like, I don't know, but I think sometimes you can change someone. You can just redirect the behavior because they may have had parents that say you better go out there and get it how you live, go rob somebody to eat. But if
And,
they just had one person that showed that they cared, these young people, they do yearn for that type of
Hey, let me
support.
say this as a general thing. Let me say this. Uh, uh, some people just got to do better as parents, and that's where it starts. It starts inside the home. You
Yep.
got to start that.
Yeah, but what
They
about the
come
ones
out.
that are not doing good as parents? We that do care about them, we have to go out on a limb outside of their parents because there are a lot of parents that don't care. But people
No,
that do care, we just have
and
to.
it is, and then like
No, real quick.
and so providing that option, because like when you have parents that don't care in the household, that start to be a domino effect. Now this kid
Hmm.
is out in the streets looking for an influence, someone that they can look up to. So now you see that person on the street making money the quick way, and this is how you start getting out the, you know what I'm saying, the drug selling. And so like when people do it for so long, that's all they know. We need to put some resources out there some way they don't have to do that. This is not the only option that they have. More people just like being better as a person, as a mentor or something. Like sometimes like when we around younger kids, we need to like not do half of the shit that we would do as we would do in front of adults.
That's a
I think
fact.
we, and where I say, I think that we too far gone now with this shit, and I just don't say it's us, but I think this social media engine, this internet is making the world move hella fucking fast right
Yep.
now, and it's not slowing down, not at all, not one bit.
No.
Life is like our attention spans has gotten slow. We put everything on our fucking phone. This is George Orwell on crack right
Yep.
now.
Read
He was
1984
saying like
today, kids.
Newspeak, LOL, and all this other shit, and how we was gonna have screens watching us. Nah, they took it to a whole nother level. Here's a phone with a camera in it.
Yep.
Here, you wanna see how you look today. Where you at this month? Oh, you on vacation, so you not even at home. You know what I'm saying? Shit like this. Like we volunteer and put our lives on social media and have no fucking problem doing it. You know what I'm saying? But like
Yep.
somebody on the street would ask us and we would have a problem. But like all they gotta do is just go to Facebook and see our lives.
Yep. So I wanted to bring it back to the comment section. Robin said, "Is defunding the police, is that an option? Is it even a viable option? You know, if the police aren't allowed to do anything anyways, could we put that money in a better place?" And I wanted to kind of end with this tonight, as far as, you know, is there anything that the police can actually do about this violence? I mean, you saw the police chief for Indianapolis like a month and a half ago come out and basically said, like, he's throwing his hands up, like, what am I supposed to do about this?
Nah,
I don't think
I think when it comes to that, that's parenting. But when it comes to adults, it ain't gonna stop until poverty's gone, dog. Poverty is the main reason why people rob. Poverty is the main reason people steal. And until poverty's gone, people are gonna be poor and people are gonna want what you got. It's as simple as that.
So with that though, with the
Especially if they
poverty
can get away
comment,
with it too. If they can
but if
definitely get
with the
away with
poverty
it,
Yeah.
comment,
drop.
these guys robbing and they're making more money than I see in a week. I make $600 a week. These guys robbing and out on the streets doing the dirt make more money than I do. So they don't have an
Everybody
Yeah, but
incentive.
the
They don't have an
difference
incentive
is
to
though that
stop
money
doing it
don't
though.
last though. That money
It
don't
doesn't last
last.
because they
That's why they
spend it.
to do
It
it.
doesn't
Yeah.
last because they spend it on flashy shit. But my point is like the poverty isn't the problem. It's still a cultural issue. It's not.
So you think if
It's the fact
everybody
that
had
they're
a
glorifying
I
pocket
it.
full
don't
of money,
know.
they're gonna still be
So the
robbing
question,
stores?
the question is, can we defund the police?
Hell
Is
no.
that the question?
Well,
It's
it
not gonna
should.
happen.
I mean, would that actually have any kind
Do
of
we
effect?
do we even have enough leaders to do so? Like, do
That's
we got
like that.
enough
It doesn't
structure?
it come out of
Do
We
our
we have
do,
enough
but I
structure
don't think
as
it's gonna happen.
do we
I
have
comes
don't
out of
enough
think
our
it's gonna
structure
taxes,
happen.
as
don't it?
people to do so?
No.
No. At
So
all.
yeah, you can't defund them. That's what I was talking
So
about.
let me ask Sly Fox. I was just curious. If you think
Yeah.
everybody, I'm not saying everybody got to be a millionaire, but if there was no such thing as lower class, you think people would still be robbing? Middle class would be
Yep,
robbing higher class?
I
I
do too.
still think so. I still think that's a fact because we're always going to want shit that we don't have. We're always never going to have enough. That's a human nature thing. I think crime is never going to go away. Even if everybody had a universal income, it was still would never be enough for some people. And that's
I think,
not. It's not. It's just a fact of life of being a human. It's never enough for us.
And
and I
that's
know
where I'm at with it. It's just
I
human
know
nature.
people
The
who
same way a lion eats a deer. The
Yep.
same, you know what I mean? It's just
Yeah.
the circle of life. And we can talk until we blue in the face about solutions, but
It's
it's just human
opportunistic.
nature.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
opportunistic. You see something that you can do and you do it.
yeah, because I know people who rob for the thrill.
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah,
the
You see
action
what
is
I'm
the
facts.
saying?
juice. I'll give you that.
It
The
ain't it
action is
ain't
the
it ain't
juice,
nothing.
100%.
it ain't because they got to. It's just they know they can get it. You see what I'm saying? People know they
Facts.
can get away with it. So it's like it
Yeah,
ain't.
that's what I'm saying. That's
Absolutely.
exactly
Hey,
what I
hey,
just
Dame,
said. If
hey, Dame,
they're
let me
gonna
give you.
try and if they're gonna try because they can get away with it. If they think they can
Yeah.
get away, even if they don't think they can
In
get away
most
with it.
cases, they got away with it already.
Oh, and you
Yeah,
look at places like California too, where they literally stop people from going to jail for shoplifting. So if you run in a mall and 12 people clear out the Foot Locker, well, there's not going to be charges on it. They're not going to put charges on it. So why wouldn't you keep doing this shit over and over if it's an easy way to get money?
It's another George Soros funded DA, though. That's my other point.
I'm not
Is
saying
why
that.
if you keep keeping the crime with no punishment, yeah, they're going to keep doing it.
Yeah.
Them
yeah,
clothes got insurance
yeah,
on it. They be all right.
yeah. Fuck them
Man,
clothes,
listen.
but see, this the thing though. It's all good till your ass get caught. I get
Yep.
what y'all saying. It's
Yeah.
cool, nigga. You running it. You know what happens to criminals? They get so numb to getting away, and
Hmm.
then they silly ass get caught one day. They didn't got real comfortable.
Yes,
And
sir.
they go through some shit. Them
Hey,
niggas,
y'all
they
see
be
that?
waving at the camera still and shit. Like,
That's
what's up with
facts.
it? You ain't got me
Scammers.
yet, motherfucker.
Yeah.
That's some crazy shit right there, man.
Hey,
Niggas,
y'all see her comment? Somebody need to speak on that. Somebody need to speak
Yeah.
on that. That's
Scammers
facts.
electronically make more than boosters
Oh,
and hustlers.
facts.
I mean,
trust
that
me.
is true.
Hell
Facts.
yeah, they do.
I be
But guess
scamming like
what?
a
Guess
motherfucker
what? You
sometimes,
were
man.
sitting at home.
Oh,
Whoa,
Don't
whoa,
Hey,
tell
whoa,
them.
whoa,
hey,
Hey,
Cal. We
don't
don't
hey,
want
Hold
to
on,
know
don't
hold on.
who
do
you
like
Listen to
you
want
this.
to
don't know
go. We
them.
don't, we
sneaky
don't want you to
anyway,
incriminate
dog. Don't
yourself,
do that.
baby.
You
We'll
were
Don't
get
break
you
sitting
the
up
at
out
tie.
of
holding cell when you steal some shoes, nigga. You get caught with that electronic shit. Kiss your
That's
babies,
federal. That's federal.
nigga.
That's
Kiss your
federal
babies, nigga.
charges.
Facts.
Man,
They,
people
hey,
still at the
the
grocery
reward.
store every
Hey,
day, man.
it's
No
risk.
problem.
It's risk versus reward, nigga. If you
Yep.
gonna do that shit, don't electronically steal
Yeah.
$50, nigga. Don't do it
Yeah.
because you
And
gonna
that's
sit
and
your
that's
stupid
that's
ass down.
anything
You better
anything
get two.
involved in the underworld. Anything involved in the underworld, you're gonna make more money than anybody making
I hear you,
10 times
Red
what
Pill.
you.
I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you
You
out
hear
there,
me?
Famo.
I'm
I hear
telling
you.
you, cuz these niggas, hey, don't bust your ass for nothing, nigga. I be asking
That's a
niggas,
good.
I'm like, you stealing what? What the fuck you steal that for? We just got paid, stupid nigga.
I
Well,
thought that shit would look nice in my house.
Yeah, yeah. You don't
on
even
that
look
point,
nice in your house, you criminal.
on that point tonight, I think we have had a banger of a conversation. Everybody enjoy themselves tonight.
Hell yeah,
Oh
man.
yeah.
It's
This was a good
cool.
one, Brody.
Hey,
Facts,
Let me
man.
facts.
get
Hey,
B
hey,
Wade in
hey.
here and the nigga with
Sly
the
Fox,
dread.
man. You welcome anytime, Famo. Come
All
on
right,
back.
guys.
Yeah, Sly
Oh
killed it.
yeah.
Yeah,
Shout
thanks
out
for
to
coming on, bro.
Damien, man. Shout out to the
Cal,
gang, bro.
Yeah,
appreciate you
man. No
coming
problem.
on, fam. Appreciate
Red
Hey
you.
Pill,
man, hey,
always a
thank
good
y'all for
time.
letting me on.
B
Always,
Wade,
brother.
appreciate you coming on.
Yes, sir. And that's going to end it for us tonight. I will have topics created for next week. You guys enjoy the rest of your night and stay safe out there.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Thanks for having me.
Peace, yo.
Thanks, guys.
Let you know out.
Yes, sir.
Letcha know.